All right, guys, back out here on the old OBS, a quick little video for you. I've been battling seats ever since I bought the truck. The original seats, the passenger seat was pretty good shape. The driver's seat was caved in. And in just desperation to get a seat, I just grabbed one off of eBay, and it was another low back bucket, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same color, the same design. So I've been trying to get matching seats for a while. I bought a set from a guy off of Marketplace, and the passenger seat was really good. The driver's seat is power, but the base part where the wire mesh that supports the base pad was broken and just trash. So bought another set. I just got here today. They look good. The passenger seat looks good. The base is not the same, so I'm going to put my base on it, and then the driver's seat looks like it's going to bolt right up. And it's powered too, but it looks like it's just a hot and a negative, and I'll be able to have a power driver's seat. So that'll be kind of cool. So we're going to check these out real quick and then get them installed and see how they look. All right, so this was the original seats that came in the truck as an 89. I don't know if that's factory, but that's what was in it when I got it. It's kind of an all maroon seat. This is the low back bucket that I got, and I like those, but I could never find a match. I just never could. And then that's the high back bucket. The passenger side was good on the first set. It's the dual armrest high back bucket. These new ones, the second set, are single armrest high back buckets. This is the driver's seat, of course, because it's got the power. And it's in a lot better shape. The pad's good here. This is the first set driver's seat. The pad's kind of broke down on the side. It's just completely gone there. And then there's no support here because this part's broke. So this is the passenger seat. It's got like a burn hole there, but I mean, they're 40-year-old seats, so that's pretty good shape. I'm going to go with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the drivers. It looks like the mount for it matches. The bolt holes are the same. I'm going to go ahead and get it mounted up. And then we'll have to change the base over because this base is longer somehow than the one I have. So I'm going to put my base on there and it'll bolt up. And then we're going to run some power to this guy and see if we can get it to wake up. It's the guy sent me a video of it working just using like a drill battery connected to those wires. So all I got to do is find probably a switch hot and a ground and run wires over, and I should have power seat. And this mesh is good. It's not broken or anything, so the front's good. The leather's not cracked. This has got a little damage, but again, it's 40 years old. I mean, everything should work. The side's nice and firm. This is there just because he had them stacked. This is just where the other seat was sitting, so that's not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to rip that passenger seat out and get it switched, and then we'll work on the driver's seat and the power. Cool. One thing to take note of, guys, while you're doing these seats, these specifically are much more right-left because of the armrests and the driver's side's power. But like the original seats, and if you can just get the high backs without the arms, they're universal. They've got two sets of bolt holes. You can see them here. This bolt is in a hole, and then there's one there. So the passenger seat is offset to the left. You see the empty hole. The driver's seat would be the other direction. So if you need to use this seat on the driver's side, you just mount the mounts on the other notch, and then you're good. So I'm going to switch these over real quick, and then we'll get it installed, see how it looks. All right, so I got it moved over, the bolt holes lined up. I got the bases set at the same distance. Hopefully they fit into the truck without hitting. This other stuff, I'm not really sure if it's going to work. This had a cable. If it went this way, I'll probably just tuck it in and hide it. Same thing with over here. I don't really know what it was for, but I'll just tuck it in. So I'm going to set it back in there and bolt it in, and then we'll get started on the driver's side. All right, it's in. It's about the same back angle as the other seat, the same distance back as the other seat. We'll sit down here real quick. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Feels good. Not too close to the dash. Plenty of leg room. That's gonna work. All right, time to get to the driver's side. All right, so change of plans. This base, like I said, is broke down, but the back of this one is really nice. There's no burn holes or anything. It's a nice back. And then this one has a nice base, but it's got a little rip right here, and only the single armrest. So I started taking it apart. It looks like it's going to be pretty simple. There's a screw there, and then one that was in that hole. And then one here, and then one up top right there. And I think I can take this whole back off. And if I can switch that good back to this good base and have a good seat with dual arms. And then this seat is good. I mean, it's got a few little stains, but there's no cuts, there's no rips, there's no burn holes. And it's got the dual arms. I can just put this one back in, right? So let's see what happens. I'm gonna try to switch it out and see if I can get that other base or that other back on this base and have the dual arm seats. And then I can sell the others as just a set that's just kind of, you know, mediocre to get some of my money back. I'm not gonna try to rip nobody off, but get some of my money back, at least for parts. So I'm kind of excited. I hope this works. I'm fixing to take that last screw out, and if this back just pops off, then I think we're in business. So let's see what happens. We run into a small hang-up. The old seats didn't have an armrest here, so they had this guy for access. I guess these came out of like an extended cab or a crew cab. So this nub is where that goes, like that. And that's in the way of putting this back on because it now has an armrest. So I'm going to try to get it on there. I don't want to cut it off because I don't want to ruin the seat, but it's like riveted on. You can't really take it out. I don't know. I'm going to keep messing with it. All right, I was able to get the back on. That nub is just kind of under the carpet there. Not a big deal. I mean, the zipper won't go completely all the way down, but you'll never see it because it's a single cab. So I'm not worried about that. It's on there, it's mounted, it's good. So I'm gonna switch this one back out again because I like that seat better. And then we'll get this driver's seat mounted up, and then we'll try getting some power to it. How's that? All right. Oh, and it wouldn't be an episode of Blake's Garage without a little blood action. Those Torx bits are sharp. Sharp. All right, here we go. All right, so I did a little investigating. Down here in the fuse panel, there is a fuse that says 4-wheel drive right there. Focus. Okay. The truck's not 4-wheel drive. So that fuse is not it's not going to anything important, right? So I checked with the multimeter, and it does get 12 volts with the key on. So I ran to the parts house real quick, and I got this ATA circuit. So I'm going to pop that in there, and then run the wire, the hot wire for the new seat from that. So it'll be fused and switched with the ignition, just like factory. So at least that's the plan. So I got to get some of this trim off here so I can run a wire. I'll have to cut a little hole somewhere, run it up through the seat hole or something. We'll get that popped through, get that wire ran to this, get a fuse in it, get some ends put on the seat. Pretty straightforward stuff. It's going to take a little while, but we're going to knock it out, and hopefully we'll have a power driver seat in about an hour. Cool. If you guys don't know how this ATA fuse works, or ATA circuit, so you see it's got two spots for fuses, right? So you pull that fuse out, and you put this whole box in that slot. And then you put that fuse in this bottom set to fuse those two tabs just like it was. And then the top set fuses the wire, and it goes to whatever you want to add. So I'm going to hook that up real quick, get the wire run in there, and then we'll start running it under the carpet. So the ATA fuse, or ATA circuit, goes in just like that. This little pigtail, there's a hole here in the fuse box. One on the other side too. I may flip it over and go out that side because that's the direction I need to go anyway. And so then I just took this wire I have, split the hot and the negative so I can run the hot in through that hole, connect it to this wire, and then I'll connect this, the negative side, to a bolt or something under the dash or here in the floorboard or somewhere. It's just got a ground. So I'm going to get that connected real quick, and then we'll start running wire. Alright, so I got the ATA fuse in. I went ahead and took the screw out of this little cover. I don't think I need to go all the way back because I think I can run it up here. So I got a razor knife, my little grabber thing. So I'm going to start running the wire behind the kick under there, and then cut a little hole in the carpet right over here, and then run the wire up through there, put some ends on it, put some ends on the seat. We should be able to throw it in. I don't know if I can be able to video this that well because I'm going to be in the way, but I'll show you when I get done. Quick change of plans. So there's not really a good mount point underneath there at all for a ground. So what I plan on doing is I've got these hoops, and I'm just going to run it to the seat bolt. So I'll put just a short little ground on the bottom of the seat that'll reach the seat bolt, and just run the power under the carpet. So that's the plan. Hopefully it works. We'll have to see. My concern is going to be that these bolts are not clean metal. They're kind of painted. And then the frame is painted, so there may not be a good ground connection. But hopefully it works, and we'll see in a little while. All right, so I think we're ready. So I added the ground strap like I discussed on the seat here. I'm going to go ahead and zip tie it to this other wire harness, and then it reaches this back bolt right here. Pretty straightforward. I added a spade connector to the hot side, and then inside the truck I ran the wire through the side here behind the kick panel with a little bit of slack so I can pull that out if I need to. It runs under the kick panel, under the carpet, and I made sure that I ran it ahead of this indention because this is where the seat bolts down and it would smash that wire and possibly break it. So it runs right along here and then out this hole. So now this should have positive with the key on. So once I set the seat in place and bolt it down, I can plug that in and it should start working. So that's the next step, is to get this thing bolted in after I get all this crap out of the way. And cross your fingers. We'll see. All right, guys, just so you know, it's not always butterflies and rainbows around here. I want to show you the mess ups along with the accomplishments. So I got to where I was about to mount this seat up. I already had 2 of the bolts started, and I went to move this out of the way and found that it doesn't move. And it's because the box of the top of this hinge is really wide, and it hits under there, where this one is flat. So I had to pull it back out, but I think it looks like I'm going to be able to move this whole hinge to that seat. That's my next try. I'm going to go ahead and pull that hinge off completely, put this hinge on it. And that's twofold, because that'll also allow me to reinstall the side cap, the pretty side cover. So, all right, I got to take the seat back apart again, halfway, and move this bracket over, and then we'll try again. So let's see. All right, so that did work. Got the old hinge here, new hinge is on, got the beauty cover on, and the armrest goes up. So now, to remount the seat, hopefully for the last time. I'm getting excited. Hopefully nothing else comes up. All right, guys, finally got it all bolted up. Had to use a little end wrench instead of my air impact, but that's all right. Flooded the truck out because I had the key on too long, but finally got it restarted. And the seat works. I'm excited to say the seat works. So I'm gonna hit the key real quick. Got your levers down here. You can, it's not very fast, but it moves. And that's good enough for me. So that's where we're gonna leave it at. It's done. I now have power driver seat, and I have matching dual arm high back buckets. That's exactly what I wanted and what I've been looking for. The interior, the seats are finally done. I can mark that off the list. Now to move on to other things. Probably the center console, because I want a sub. Yep, finally, it's done. Yep. All right, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this one. That was a pretty fun project. I'm glad we were able to figure it out and get it all to work. We had to kind of piece it together and had to go back a few times. There were some do-overs and some mistakes, but hey, that's what happens. So we got it done. If any of you guys are in the Houston area and need seats, specifically the maroon style for the OBS, I have tons of parts. Hit me up. I've got low backs, high backs, bases, power base. Let me know. Let me know. Thank you guys for hanging out with me out here. If you like what I'm doing, if you like this type of content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you get notifications whenever I upload new content for the OBS or for the CJ here. I got a little bit of everything going on. It's going to be fun. I got the shop cleaned up, and it's time to shut this one down. So you guys have a good one and rock on.